Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tuesday, Arise with Sally Goodwin, on our study of the Hebrew alphabet, our basic introduction to the Hebrew alphabet, just in case any of you are expecting some to be able to speak Hebrew by the end of all of this. No, it's not going to happen. But if you're interested in learning to speak Hebrew from listening to the last few videos, then I'm really excited about that, because if I can point you back to the Jewish roots of the church in just some small way and get you interested in looking at the depth of meaning that is contained within the Hebrew, and just also looking at things from more of a Hebraic perspective rather than the Greek perspective than we used to, then my job here is done. And then I have done exactly what God has been asking me to do. So I hope that you're excited. I hope that you're enjoying it. I hope that you have watched all of the videos from the beginning so that you get a full idea of the story. And I trust also that you've gone and had a look at my website and downloaded the pages associated with the letters that I've done, so that you can see typed out exactly what it is that I've said and the explanation for what it is that I've said. So the fourth letter of the Hebrew alphabet that we are going to look at today is the Dalet. And it is quite an incredible letter, I must say. If we look at the ancient Hebrew pictographs, the pictograph of a Dalet looks like a closed or hanging tent door. You have to put yourself back in those days sometimes, and to what tents looked like then, not necessarily like our modern day tents, because when I first looked at it, I was like, okay, I'm not so sure. But then when you actually think back to tents the way they were then, it makes a little bit more sense to you. So that is the pictograph from ancient Hebrew, a closed or hanging tent door. And then in classical Hebrew, the Dalet is constructed of two lines and a corner point or overhang. And the corner point or overhang is called the ear of the letter. It's called the ear. And what it symbolizes, part of what it symbolizes, is a needy person bent over. And so if you just cast your mind back to last week, to Gimel, and you remember that I said that the way Gimel is constructed, it looks like a man walking forward. But if you remember that the Hebrew alphabet is written from right to left, you will realize, and I said it last week, that the Gimel is walking forward. In our view of things, we would say backwards, but it's walking forwards towards Dalet, which is symbolized by a needy person bent over. So the ear is said to be listening out. The ear of the classical Hebrew letter Dalet is said to be listening out for the approaching Gimel coming to assist. Isn't that amazing? Bearing in mind also that Gimel symbolizes the Holy Spirit. So phonetically, it is D as in door. Duh. Do, Dalet. And Dalet became Delta in the Greek, and then our D. So it all came from the Hebrew. And it has the numeric value of 4, which speaks of completeness and also of doorways. So Dalet is a very interesting letter, because not only is it symbolized in ancient Hebrew by actually a hanging tent door, but for us, the numeric value 4 often speaks of doorways and speaks of thresholds or places to go over, and that once you crossed over, through that doorway, you often step over into completeness. And then some of the incredible mysteries of the language that I just want to share with you as well, which is part of Dalet, is that Jesus, you remember that Jesus was from the tribe of Judah. And the Hebrew name for Judah is Yehudah, okay, which contains every letter of the sacred name of God except for Dalet, which suggests, if again you use those 4 layers that we spoke about right in the beginning in the intro video, 4 layers to look deeper into the hidden meanings of things, which suggests that the door to the Lord would come via Judah, which it did. Jesus was from the tribe of Judah. So the door to the Lord came via Judah, which is actually signified already just in the word Yehuda. And then the other, just so interesting, the other interesting thing that I want to share with you is that the word for religion is dat. Now, D-A-T, some people I've seen spell it D-O-T, so it's D-O-T, not D-O-T. So it's either dat or dot, one of those two, but that is the word for religion. And if you look at the ancient pictographs that make up the word dat or dot, the ancient pictographs reflect the door of the cross. So religion reflected in pictographs is the door of the cross. And so the Father, Aleph, sent his Son, Bet, by means of the Holy Spirit, Gimel, to appeal to the poor and needy, Dalet, to receive him. And what does it say there? The classical Hebrew of Dalet, the ear. The ear is listening for the approaching of Gimel to help out. The ear is listening for the approaching of the Holy Spirit. The people, the world, the poor and the needy, the ones, and not necessarily poor and needy in terms of finance or anything like that, but in terms of that we all need Jesus, are listening for the approaching of the Holy Spirit. And that is because the Holy Spirit appeals to them to receive the Lord. So when I said to you that there is a whole story encompassed in the Hebrew alphabet, I definitely was not exaggerating. And if you actually read it like that, and you just see the way it's written and the way it all comes together, it is just the most incredible. It is very difficult to not believe that it's God's language and that the first words that God spoke and the language that he used to create was Hebrew. Because just when you delve deeper into it, it just makes such perfect sense that that is what he would have used. So that is the letter Dalet. I have referenced it before, I think, in one of my recordings on doorways. So you can go back and have a listen to that as well if you would like to. But that is that for Dalet for today. And next Tuesday, we are going to move on to the fifth letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which is He. And He also just has the most incredible story attached to it. So I really encourage you to come and watch next Tuesday, the video on He. But don't forget to watch on Thursday as well for the prophetic teaching. And also just follow on with the Hebrew calendar ones that I put up once a month on a Tuesday. Just, none of this needs to be completely understood or completely, but just allow it to seep into your spirit and just let God reveal things to you that you may not have known. Just let him reveal himself to you, which I think is what he does through all these Hebrew things. That's what he did for my mom, and that's what he's done for me. And I never thought I would be interested in Hebrew anything. And now I'm like, I can't get enough of it. So it's been great spending time with you again today. Questions, queries, anything, message me, ask me. I will do my absolute utmost to answer. And otherwise, I shall see you next time. Love you lots. Bye.